Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Chidi and I'm a lifestyle vlogger. I make videos about my lifestyle, motherhood, family and some bits of medical school. So if you're new to my YouTube channel, thank you so much and I hope you join the family by subscribing to my YouTube channel down below. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for the support. I really do appreciate. So guys, it's going to be an exciting video today because I'll be discussing everything medical school. Yes. So I know it's been a long while coming. I've gotten so many requests about shooting medical school content. I know I haven't done so much about it, but guys, if you've been waiting for that video, that long awaited video is finally here. So I am shooting a 3-part series that is going to encompass my medical school journey, ranging from how I got into medical school to like navigating medical school alongside raising a family, as well as planning a wedding in medical school and having a full-time job. I'll be dropping all those gems. So we're going to dive in right into the topic now. Part 1 of the series will be me discussing how I got into medical school as a first-generation immigrant. Can I get an name? Yes, see, so I moved to the UK at the age of 19 years old and I moved to join my sister who was 20 years old at the time. And at the time I moved, she's only been in the country for like 6 months. So she was fairly new as well. So we both moved in together in this, 1-bedroom flat, and that's how we started our lives really. And my parents were still back home. So guys, if you don't know, just in case you don't know, I am Nigerian. I was born in Nigeria and I moved from Nigeria at 19. So when I moved to the country, I wanted to get a job, earn some money and, assist my sister in paying the bills. But she wasn't hearing none of it. She wanted me to go back into full-time education and pursue my dream of wanted to be a doctor. I really wanted to study medicine. It was this huge dream I had. I've had it since childhood. I've always wanted to be a medical doctor. But moving from a country at the age of 19 years with no parents, I found it really difficult and challenging because I didn't know the lowdown. I didn't know the entry requirements. I didn't really know, how to get into medical school at that point. But I didn't let that deter me. And I started to do lots of research. I remember going to the local library to use the computer and the internet system over there. So I used to research laws. I researched all the medical schools in the UK to know the entry requirements, just to check if I stood a chance. I had this long list of all the medical schools in the UK and all the entry requirements. So from the research, I realized I needed to go to college, because in Nigeria you go to university directly from secondary school, whilst in the UK there is an intermediary. So you after your secondary school education, you're expected to do 2 years of college before going to university. So that wasn't the norm in Nigeria, so it was a bit different coming here. When I realized I needed to get into college, I started ringing up the local colleges around the area just to see if I can secure an interview to get in. But guys, you know what, a shock, because they said at 19 years old I was a bit too old to get into sixth form colleges. Typical age of entry here is 16 to 18, and because I was 19, they didn't really want to accept me. So because of that, I was rejected from all the colleges that I applied to. So it was a very difficult time at that point. I looked further afield and I applied to the further education colleges, and I eventually got accepted. So they have two types of colleges here. You can either go to a sixth form college or a further education college. I didn't even know the difference at the point. I just knew that I needed to go into college to do A levels to enable me get into medical school. So that was what I knew at the time: get A levels and get into medical school. I needed biology, chemistry, and the other two are a bit flexible because the medical schools here, at the point when I got in, the compulsory subjects were chemistry and biology at A levels, and then I also chose to do psychology and physics. So the further education college I got accepted to was 1 hour away from home. Yes, so I used to do a 2-hour commute every day, going to college and coming back. So it was a really long one, but you know what, at that point in my life I was really grateful to be accepted to a college. So I thought it was a little price to pay for eventually doing the A levels I wanted to do and getting into medical school. Unfortunately for me, I met another roadblock after I got enrolled in the college. The college was not capable of catering for A-level students, and they didn't have the teachers, they didn't have the right infrastructure, and we had a high turnover of staff. And we also used to have like supply teachers coming to teach. To be fair, the college was not adequate to cater for A level and to cater for a medical student prospective applicant. Like, it wasn't working at all. I got to know that on time, and I started to prepare myself because I didn't want anything to stop me from reaching my goals. So I decided to, like, start teaching myself the subjects that I needed to get into medical school. To get into medical school, you need really good grades like A's and A stars, so the highest grades possible to be able to stand a chance. I got to know on time that if I solely relied on the college, then I'll be going nowhere. I definitely would not be getting to medical school because I'll definitely not be getting the right grades, and that will prevent me from getting into medical school. So I didn't want that happening. So I started to research. I started to, like, ask people around. And fortunately enough, during my, online research, I stumbled upon a brilliant online community of students all over the UK. It's called the Student Room. So I joined the medical school mega thread. So you have students from different schools all over the UK. They come in there, they ask questions, they give advice, they discuss, entry into medical school. So I got all the information I needed on there. I mean, like, without that group, I don't think I'll be where I am now. So I'm really grateful for the existence of that group. We had a high turnover of teachers, and I ended up having to teach myself the A-level biology and A-level chemistry because we didn't have any teachers at some point. I had to self-teach these subjects to enable me stand a chance. However, on results day, I sadly did not meet the grades, and it was devastating. I felt very sad on the day, and when I got to the house, me and my sister, we sat down to analyze the whole situation, and we thought we had three options. So it's either I go abroad to study medicine, or I accept the alternative course I got offered. So guys, I got offered pharmacy, and then the third option was to take a year out, find a job, and then reapply. So the abroad option was quickly ruled out because, firstly, remember guys, it was just me and my sister at the time, and my brother also joined a year after us, and my sister was the only one who had a job. I was paying all the bills, so I didn't think it was fair to put so much burden on her because obviously, like, she felt responsible for me, and she was really determined for me to actually go and achieve my goal by studying medicine. So she was going to, like, cover for all the fees, the tuition, the accommodation, and all the day-to-day living expenses. So I didn't think it was fair to her to put such burden on her. So I quickly ruled out the going abroad option. Then the second option was to accept a pharmacy alternative course I got offered, and I wasn't really interested in pharmacy. So because of that, I rejected the offer. I didn't go down that route. So guys, I finally went down the route of taking a year out and finding a job. So guys, I quickly found a job as a healthcare assistant in a big London hospital, and I was lucky because I got the job on first application. So I got shortlisted after I applied online, and also got invited for an interview, which I passed. So I was really happy about that, and I was excited to join the team. So for a year, I worked as a healthcare assistant in a very busy London hospital, and I enjoyed working there. I had the best team ever. I learned so much. I improved in confidence. I improved in communication skills. I picked up a lot of relevant skills that I also used for as a future healthcare professional whilst earning money. So it was a really, really good opportunity, and I enjoyed my year out. And also during that year out, I also traveled to Nigeria for a holiday. So it also worked out for me in the end. So guys, during that year, I reapplied for a medical school place, and I also applied for a widening access program, which I got to know through the student room. So for this widening access program, it existed for students who's come from low income backgrounds and underperforming schools, and there are other criteria that you needed to meet to be able to apply for a foundation medical place. So guys, I met the criteria having come from a low income background and an underperforming college, because I went to a college that was underperforming, and these things were barriers to me getting into medical school. At the end of the day, I got invited for an interview for the widening access program. So that was at University of Bradford. So I got invited for an interview, and I passed the interview, and I was so happy. But guys, it was also difficult for me, because I only been in London for like 2 years or so. That meant moving out of London to Bradford, which is the north of England, and with no family or friends, and that was very challenging for me. But guys, because I really, really, really was determined to study medicine, so I did not mind at that point. I was ready to make these sacrifices. So when I moved to Bradford, it wasn't a walk in the park, guys. So I needed to put in a lot of effort as well. So guys, we are this cohort of over 100 students wanting to transfer, and only 20 students were allowed to transfer to Leeds Medical School. So it was very competitive, like super, super competitive. And I was under the pressure the entire time to like get the grades, because we also needed to get a minimum grades to qualify to even apply to transfer to the medical school. I worked very hard. I was able to get the minimum grades required to apply to the partner medical school. So after I applied, we also needed to sit BMAT and wait for the interview. So guys, waiting for the interview was an agony. I eventually got an interview for the Leeds Medical School, and I was so excited. I remember getting the interview invite while at work. When I saw the email, I was so happy, but I could not scream. I could not jump about like I would have if I was at home. And I went back home. I prepared for my interview. Oh my god, I remember like sitting at home with my dad, my 80-year-old dad. He used to like revise with me. He would listen to me, do my whole interview, mock interview by myself, and he would give me some, tips and advice, despite not going to higher education himself. And he was only like a London bus driver. He didn't have the opportunity to go to university. It was just heartwarming, the support I received from my dad. So guys, I traveled to Leeds for the interview the day before, and I stayed in the hotel. I traveled the day before because my interview was super early in the morning, and the commute from London to Leeds is about 3 or 4 hours. I didn't want to risk it, so I traveled the day before. I stayed in the hotel, and I went to the interview from the hotel. So I did the interview. I came back home, and this wait was the most painful wait, agonizing wait. So we're all waiting to hear back from the medical school after the interview. And guess what, guys? Again, I got my offer at work. So I received this email, and I've been accepted to Leeds Medical School. Guys, that was the best day of my life. 2016, sometime in August 2016. It was the best day of my life. I screamed, I jumped about. I could not believe that I eventually got in. Like it seemed like something that I would never ever achieve. I could not believe that I finally achieved my dream despite all the challenges, despite all the roadblocks. I eventually got there, so I was so happy. I was ecstatic. I rang everyone, and I couldn't believe I will be starting medical school in September. So that summer was the best summer ever. So guys, you've seen from my story that my journey into medical school wasn't smooth sailing. I had a lot of obstacles on the road, and I eventually got there with hard work, determination, perseverance. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, why not subscribe to my channel by clicking on the subscribe button below, and leave your comments down below. If you've got any questions about whatever I've discussed here today, just feel free to leave a comment below. And also share my video if you like with friends or with people you think will benefit from hearing my story today. And guys, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.